Good morning, everyone. If everyone in here, hopefully we've got everything going. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Billy Moorhead, Vice Chair. Ms. Ray is on her way. Let's call the meeting to order. First business item here is approval of minutes from the June 3rd meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item, approval of per diem and expenses for the July 1 meeting and any additional expenses prior to August the 5th that may be incurred. Have a motion.
Move to approve this item. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Next item, approval of the final procurement review board building and ground rules and regulations. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? We have what were the substantive changes? Do we on that? The final, the building.
It should be who
Yeah.
was it? But yes.
Any major substantive changes?
No, we just streamlined the rules. Information they just condensed. We had previously sent, it might have looked from this as well too. They previously had some more internal procedures incorporated within the rules themselves.
There have been no changes since the approval from last meeting.
Okay.
No comments.
Okay.
There were no public comments received.
I don't know if everyone online heard that, but no substantive changes since the last set of rules, other than some streamlining, and no comments were received from the public. So all of that there, do we have, as take a vote? All in favor of approval of these, say aye. Aye. All right, reports, OPTFM.
I've got a question on the buses, emergency on the buses. I mean, why wouldn't they be a sole source or contract, or why are they emergency?
They issued a couple of bids for that, and they are just not receiving responses. The vendors have told this state that there's just not enough buses for them to even bid on it. Basically, a small fish in a big pond. So they tried twice, and the vendors said, we're not
So
going to sell
state
y'all just such a minimal amount of buses.
Didn't get any bids in.
They will not. The vendors are saying we're not bidding on such a minimal amount of buses.
$1 million minimum amount of buses.
To those companies, they're looking at cities, universities that are wanting 30. They want large orders, not 3, 4, and 5 buses. So they tried twice, but in all, said no, we're not going to participate. We are evaluating a cooperative right now for transit and motor coaches. So that is coming online right now. So once we evaluate that, we can look at adopting that to help out Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, Jackson State, all those who need transit type buses.
Is there a computer guy here that can hook up my computer? It looked like it went off and it did the password.
Other discussion on this item. Emergency contract. Hearing none. Next report. Sole source.
What kind of pocket guide? What is that? Said we're buying pocket guides. Pocket guides from DCU. What is that?
Which one are you looking at?
That's the second item.
Oh, pocket guides. Let's see. That is it's the number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DCU pocket guide.
Trust-based relational intervention pocket guides. It's a reference for professional caregivers who are using the trust-based relational intervention. That's a trademark. a trademark, I should say, to meet the needs of children who have experienced trauma. So they're the only ones that do the TBRI pocket guide. It's licensing material.
What does it do again?
It is for professional care and caregivers. It's basically a training guide for caregivers.
And if I'm correct, MSU has a couple of contracts with either Department of Education or other entities where they're using
The same
things
type of
with
reference
reference material for children, yes. So they're doing some training across the state, yes.
Thank you for that.
Other questions? Comments? All right, hearing none, next item, staff approvals.
Mr. Chairman, I see we're on this page that for golf apparel, it's a Nike, number one. Nike doesn't doesn't give uniforms or stuff that have the logo on it, advertise.
I'm sorry, you said that again.
Well, I would think that Nike would donate that stuff, with their emblem on it to get it out there. That's,
They do. I think there is some agreement they have with Nike. And of course, it's not just for the golf team, it's for all athletic teams. It is Nike Golf is a subsidiary of Nike. So when you see the coaches on the sideline wearing their polos, that's a Nike Golf polo, even if it's the baseball coach. So that's what that is. And I'm sure there is some apparel you can get to other coaches for free.
all right, thank you.
And I will say this on having worked at a university, those are discounted prices at that point. So they've already cut you a deal to get to that. Yes.
Discount.
Yeah. All right. They do a lot of replacing of uniforms throughout it.
Thanks.
All right, our next item on here are emergency, staff, BOB staff approval. Hearing no discussion. Next item.
Is OPSCR. Comments, concerns, questions? Hearing none. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Okay. The next one, sole source.
And no sole sources for this month.
Ma'am, next one is staff approval. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
One question, I think I've asked it, for these statutory exemptions, if they're to be changed, is that a legislative deal?
Statutory change, yes.
Thank you.
Next item. CFA, Office of Personal Travel and Equipment.
Hi, good morning again, everybody. Danny Lynch with Office of Purchase and Travel and Fleet Management. First item, or the next item on the agenda, petitions for relief from reverse auction. We have two of them. The first one is for Park County, estimated value of $75,000. This is for a natural gas generator. They're requesting exemption from the use of reverse auction to purchase a 125 kilowatt natural gas generator. The county has determined that the competitive sealed bid process would be the most advantageous procurement method, allowing multiple local vendors to participate and resulting in more competitive pricing. PPFM recommends approval of this exemption.
You've heard the summary of the request and staff's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
I move that we approve this item.
Second?
Second question. Because there's not enough computers in the county.
They said, from what I understand, I think they have some local vendors who can participate. But
Because they don't
I think the
have-
lack of technology and maybe technology ability. And so to allow them to participate, they're going to be a little bit more apt to go in.
I knew this was going to be, when reverse auctions first came out, I knew this was a significant issue. And I thought that there was restrictions or some provisions in there for the county or the local government to provide for that. So
They
I have no problem. with it.
they made it seem as if they didn't have the means to provide the technology for the locals. They've bought this before, and it sounds like it went to out-of-state vendors at a higher price. So they wanted to do the exemption to allow the bidding process of the local vendors to have that opportunity to save some money.
I just thought it was strange the way they said they didn't.
That's
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Thank you. We've had a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Ayes have it. Next item.
Next item is another exemption request. This one from the Rosedale Bolivar Traffic Court Commission in the estimated dollar amount of $600,000. And this is for an inland river deck barge, which will be a critical component of the bulk material handling and barge unloading facility located in the Port of Rosedale, Mississippi. The commission has determined that the competitive sealed bid process would be in the best interest of the state because the proposed procurement involves the acquisition of a unique marine asset. In addition to costs, they're going to evaluate the overall value of each proposed vessel, including condition, suitability, and for the intended purpose, the remaining service life, inspection results, and compliance with the solicitation requirements.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the summary of the request and staff recommendation. What's your pleasure?
I move for approval based on staff recommendation.
So
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? Nay? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Consideration of state agency contracts for the board. And we're going to start off with the Division of Medicaid with Lexmark International. The amount, which is an unchanged dollar amount, they're just amending the dates. This is $755,998.80. They're requesting approval to amend their agreement with Lexmark for copier rentals due to delays in the deployment of their copiers. The original agreement was approved by this board on October 1st of 2025, and this amendment will revise the start date of the contract from October 15th, 2025 to January 1st of 2026. OPTFM recommends approval of this.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff recommendation. What's your pleasure?
I move to approve this item.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Bank of Mississippi in the amount of $3 million. They're requesting approval to extend this contract at no additional cost for the deployment of live points received. The original contract was approved by this board on March 6th of 2024. OPTFM recommends approval of this extension.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay? Ayes have it. Carried.
The next two items, y'all are okay, we can take together. They are indefinite quantities. Y'all are okay with that? Both of these with MDOT, Mississippi Department of Transportation. The first one with UEP Stockstill and Material Resources for the combined amount of $125,000, and this is for hot and cold asphalt. Hot and cold mix asphalt. The next one is with Ramsco, Croc Enterprises, Guide Services, Gulf Material Sales, and Ozark Distributions in the combined amount of $645,000. This is for attenuator parts. The hot and cold mix is a 6-month contract with no renewal options. The attenuator parts is a 12-month contract with one possible 12-month extension. And all of these contracts are available to other state agencies and governing authorities, and they're all part of the MDOT indefinite quantity that you all saw last month. OPTFM recommends approval of these contracts.
Thank you much.
Move to approve based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? These requests are approved. Next item.
All right, next item is with Mississippi State University with Brain Vision in the amount of $909,259. MSU is requesting approval of a sole source purchase for an EEG system supporting high resolution neurophysiological data collection in human test subjects. OPTFM recommends approval of this contract.
Further summary of the request and staff recommendation. What's your pleasure?
I move for approval. Staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All opposed, say nay. Hearing none, motion is carried.
All right, next item is Jackson State University with Xerox Corporation in the amount of $1,235,697.60. JSU is requesting approval to utilize the state's contract with Xerox Corporation for copier rentals across all of their campuses. OPTFM recommends approval of this contract.
You heard the summary of the request.
I move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Our next item is with Mississippi Emergency Management Agency with United Rentals of America in the amount of $4,925,000. They're requesting to add $425,000 to their current contract with United Rentals for emergency standby generators. OPTFM recommends approval of this amendment. This contract was originally approved by this board on December 6th, 2020.
You heard the summary of the request and the staff recommendation.
Move to approve this item.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Sir.
The additional 425, that's not going to increase the cost of the generators. It's just adding money to the
Add money
budget.
to the contract, yes, sir.
That was my question. Probably because we used that contract earlier this year, the ice storm and
Ice
whatever.
storm took a lot of their money out.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Any additional discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried. Next item.
Next item is under the master lease purchase category. This is with the Mississippi Department of Transportation with the master lease purchase total of $2 million. And this is amending planning form 2023B. MDOT is requesting authority to amend a previously approved master lease purchase planning form. It was approved by this board at the November 2023 meeting. They currently have a remaining balance of $660,471.10 in the acquisition fund instead of the previously approved knuckle boom truck listed on the original planning form. MDOT wishes to purchase 4 D6 tractors, 5 D6 mowers, 2 bush hogs, and all of these are coming from the state contract in the amount of $450,000. The knuckle boom trucks just never came in. They waited. I contacted the vendors, so they never came in. I think they waited quite a while. And so they canceled that order and gonna switch out these items. So with that said, PTFM recommends approval of the request amendment and granting authority to proceed with procuring and financing the amended equipment through the master lease purchase program.
Thank you, sir. You heard the staff's recommendation along with additional information and the recommendation.
Based on staff recommendation.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Any additional question, comments, or concern? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That is motion is carried.
Thank you.
Next item, PFA, Bureau of Buildings, Grounds, and Property Management. Ma'am.
The first item and the only item today coming to y'all is for a change order which exceeds 25% of the original contract for the Office of Capital Facilities, which is BFA, for 350038 ARPA mitigation. The contractor was Universal Services. The original contract sum is $9.1 million. The total value of this change order is $2,754,152.40. It's for equipment only of new chillers and pumps at the Bolton building. Woodville building, sorry. Board action is required when change orders exceed $1 million and also 25% of the original contract.
Heard summary of the request regarding the Woodville building and the chillers and pumps. What's your pleasure?
I move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second. And a second. Any additional question, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of the same, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Y'all need to smile, okay? Smile. Boring. I'm Ken Adams with Real Property Management. First category will be new leases. First one is with Mississippi Forestry Commission at Hazelhurst, Mississippi, for 1,656 square feet at a total cost, yearly cost of $12,000, or $7.25 plus utilities and janitorial. This will be the district office for the Mississippi Forestry Commission. This lease was advertised, one response was received. This is a one-year lease with no renewals. RPM recommends the approval of this contract.
Further recommendation, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve this item. Second.
It's been moved to approve this item, and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, carried.
The next category is succeeding leases. The first one is with Mississippi Department of Corrections in Philadelphia, Mississippi for 1,350 square feet at a yearly cost of $14,700 or $10.89 per square foot plus utilities and janitorial. This is going to be the probation office, probation office for the Philadelphia and Neshoba County area. This is a 5-year lease with no renewals. This agency has been at this location since September of 2021. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
The next item is Mississippi Department of Corrections again in Holly Springs, Mississippi for 1,680 square feet at a yearly cost of $15,120. And that's $9 plus utilities and janitorial per square foot. The purpose of the lease, this is the parole and probation office, and this is the correction for the Holly Springs, Marshall County area. This is a 5-year lease with no renewals. This agency has been at this location since June of 2015. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary of the request for the this lease and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move to approve based on staff recommendation with the correction.
Second.
Did you say with the correction?
Yeah, I think you consider the address of the property in Holly Springs.
Thank you, sir.
But the purpose of the lease is a parole operation for the Philadelphia and Neshoba County. Which is what was the deal before, biggest. So they changed that Philadelphia and Neshoba to
Marshall County, yeah.
All in favor of approving this lease with the noted corrections? say
Hi.
aye.
Good morning. This is Victoria James with Mississippi Department of Corrections. May I speak for a moment, please? Okay, so I was looking at this staff recommendation and also looking at the contracts we have, and there were some changes that needed to be made before you decide approval of this contract. So the changes that I saw were on the last contract that was, that expires in 2026, the previous cost per square foot was $11.30. And that is now going to currently be $12.18, making it the previous yearly cost balance $19,200, making the new yearly cost $20,700.
Ma'am, which item are you?
Which one?
Are you
This
referring
is-
to Philadelphia or Holly Springs?
This is Holly Springs.
Can you direct us to?
I'll tell you what, we need to table this particular lease at this time. Information that I'm receiving needs to be correct. So I would like to table this particular lease until the next meeting.
Any objections from the board?
No, good idea.
This lease.
We're tabling Holly Springs.
That's correct.
Yeah, because it's not due till September 1st, so there's time to, I mean,
That's
that's
correct.
not scheduled to start till September 1st, so there's time to get that corrected before.
Right.
To not impede the progress, right?
Next item.
Next category is going to be amended leases with the Mississippi Department of Employment Security. This one's in Grenada, Mississippi for 5,350 square feet at a yearly cost of $54,895.08 or $10.26 plus utilities and janitorial. This is the Wind Job Center for the Grenada County area. This amendment extends the lease for an additional 3 years. There are no renewals. This agency has been at this location since November of 2021. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You have heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation. Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any additional question, comment, or concern? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Next item again is with the Mississippi Department of Employment Security in Greenwood, Mississippi for 10,270 square feet at a yearly cost of $105,267.48 or $10.25 plus utilities and janitorial. This will be the Wind Job Center for the Greenwood, LaFleur County area. This amendment extends the lease for an additional 3 years. There are no renewals. This agency has been at this location since December of 2009. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
For the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval by question.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
The question I got, at these job centers, is it just an application process or do they actually do training at these centers?
They have recently, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they have reduced the number of actual centers to go into online services. These are just strategically placed centers where they can actually come in and get on computers if they don't have a computer and apply for different positions.
So this is just application, there's no actual training.
They do, former agency, they do some training at these locations. They'll partner with different local partners or any of the community colleges in the area, and they will do training at some of these locations.
At these locations, like a classroom
I
training.
think Grenada is one of them.
I was looking at 10,000 square feet, that's pretty.
That's why it's
pretty-
classroom, it's training
pretty
room.
good size building.
Yes, yes, sir.
So they do actual
Yes.
physical training. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you much. Any additional question, comment, or concern? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carried. Next item.
Next item again is with Mississippi Department of Employment Security in Louisville, Mississippi for 2,741 square feet. Yearly cost of $10,800 or $3.94 plus utilities and janitorial. This is the Wind Jobs in the Louisville, Winston County area. This amendment extends the lease for an additional 3 years. There are no renewals, and the agency has been at this location since November of 2021. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary well as the staff recommendation. What is your?
Move to approve based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Next item.
Next item is with Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services in Tupelo, Mississippi for 42,193 square feet at a yearly cost of $96,000. And that's $2.28 per square foot plus utilities janitorial. This amendment extends the lease for an additional 3 years. RPM recommends the approval of this lease, and this is an ability work facility for the North Mississippi area.
You've heard the summary of the request as well as the staff recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval on staff recommendation.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Is there any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item.
The next item is Mississippi Department of Mental Health down in Gulfport, Mississippi for 2,800 square feet. Yearly cost of $12,600, $4.50, and it's an inclusive figure. The purpose of the lease, this is for medical record storage. This is a 1-year lease with no renewals. This lease is contingent on receiving an executable contract or an executed contract. RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
For the summary of the request and the staff recommendation, what is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Additional comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Next item.
Let's see. The next one is Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services in Ridgeland, Mississippi, 400 square feet at a yearly cost of $2,400 per year, and that's $6 per square foot. That is an inclusive figure. This is a storage facility that stores refrigerators, freezers, vending machines, and other items used and repaired by the blind enterprise. I knew we'd find this particular lease somewhere.
You'll find a vending machine.
And this is a 1-year lease with no renewals. This agency has been at this location since June of 2015, and RPM recommends the approval of this lease.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval, staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any question, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. All
Thank you.
Say nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Darwin Dillon with the Office of Personal Service Contract Review. I have a petition for relief to present from the Mississippi State Department of Health. The agency seeks proposals to provide professional services related to the development of an emergency medical services capacity assessment. The nature of this project involves complex, outcome-driven work such as population health analysis, emergency medical, and healthcare provider and facility asset mapping, and coordination of multiple sector partners. The agency contends an invitation for bids to procure the services neither practicable nor advantageous because the agency needs to evaluate based on qualifications, technical approach, past performance, services priorities, and price is not the most important factor to consider for these services. The evaluation factors will be management weighted at 40%, technical at 25%, and cost price weighted at 35%. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You have heard summary of the request as well as staff recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Move this item.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any question, comments, or concerns?
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Outcome-driven work. What does that mean? What's that?
That would be a great question for Dr. Young or Ms. Patricia that's on the line.
Good morning. This is Dorothy Young. Are y'all able to hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy to answer that. So the EMS Service Capacity Assessment is one of the requirements for the Rural Health Transformation Program, the large grant program for our state. We will, through this process, be reviewing the capacity to service emergency services, not only the EMS services throughout the state, 911, and all of the related services to get critical patients to the nearest appropriate hospital or emergency room. So the outcomes ideally would be reductions in mortality or acuity related to those patients' outcomes, more clinical outcomes.
Good. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Kimberly Burris with OPSER. The Mississippi Division of Medicaid is seeking to enter into a contract with Health Management Services Incorporated in the amount of $1 million. The term of the contract is 2 years and 6 months. The contractor will assist DOM disenrolled members with who no longer permanently reside in Mississippi, such as receiving a data file from the Public Assistance Reporting Information System generated by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, evaluate documents to verify residency, and provide DOM with the necessary documentation to support the disenrollment process. The agency has determined that contingent circumstances exist that prevent it from running a competitive solicitation because it would delay access to the services for 6 months to a year when there is a competitively priced option readily available. The agency also anticipates they won't need the services after the end of this contract. Based on the agency's determination that the requirements for exigent circumstances have been met, OPSER recommends approval of this report.
Here is a summary of the request and staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation. Question.
Second.
Question is, and I don't know if someone from the agency's on the call, but wouldn't we continue to need the services to disenroll people who have moved away, or is this system, once in place, designed to continue that? Does that make sense?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for your question. We do still need to continue to do this after the end of this contract, but CMS is communicating at this time to the states that they are going to provide this service to the states starting in January 29. So we should be able to get it from the federal government at that time.
Okay, thank you. That answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
No further question.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Morning, I'm Angela Cooper with OPSER. I'm going to take items 2 and 3 in block. Boswell Regional Center is seeking to contract with Lewis Pharmaceutical Consultant LLC in the amount of $540,000 and will provide consultant pharmacy services, and OT Solutions LLC in the amount of $542,000, and they will provide occupational therapy services with a term of 5 years with no optional renewals. The contractors were selected through a request for qualifications with 3 respondents each and was awarded to the highest score respondent. OPSER recommends approval of this request.
Here is a summary of the request and a staff recommendation regarding Boswell Regional Center. What is your pleasure?
I move for approval of these 2 items based on staff recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried.
Okay, I'm going to take items 4 and 5 in block. Boswell Regional Center is seeking to contract with DMD doing business as Brookwood Dental in the amount of $175,000 and Russia A. Slover, GMBPA, in the amount of $475,000, both with a term of 5 years with no option renewals. Brookwood Dental will provide dental services for Boswell Regional Center and Western Group Homes, and Russell H. Slover will provide dental services for Boswell Regional Center and McGee Group Homes. The contractors were selected during request for qualifications, and both was awarded to the sole and only respondent.
Second.
Question I have is, what makes Dr. Flover $300,000, or $300,000 more than Dr. Cody?
Be the number.
Dr. Cody's getting
It'd be the number of patients. That's, the Boswell Center is in the number 5, the only group homes are in the number 4.
So it's a patient driven.
It's numbers. Yeah, you've got the entire facility.
You got Boswell Center down in Sanatorium, it's huge.
Yeah.
And that explains it. I just didn't know if they were doing the same amount of work for that kind of thing.
Probably for the same amount per person.
Dr. Doty, I'd have to live on that.
Tell him to go down there and get more business.
All right.
I have a question. Is it based on use? So they may not use all 475,000?
We have, Benji on the line. Benji, are you on the line?
We have someone from Boswell on the line.
I've got the contract pulled up and it's a fee not to exceed $250 per hour, up to 4 hours a week. And then $800 per group home. So says it will be based on the needs, depending on the needs of the client. So I think it's up to this amount based on what's needed.
Based on usage?
That's right.
Okay, not to exceed.
Pretty much.
And I think the group homes only have 10 beds per group home. I think that's what the number was.
The 4 hours a week would be.
There are multiple group homes, but there's only.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Item number 6, Mississippi State Hospital is seeking to contract with Woody's Janitorial in the amount of $6,123,566.88 with a term of 4 years with no optional renewal. The contractor will provide janitorial and housekeeping services for all the Mississippi State Hospital Patient Services Divisions. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 4 bidders. 3 bidders were deemed non-responsive and non-responsible. The contract was awarded to the responsive and responsible bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
I move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Second with a question.
We have a motion and a second. Question, sir.
Just to my education, the 3 bidders were deemed non-responsible and non-responsive. Who deems those non-responsive? Is that a Mississippi State Hospital or is that a DFA?
Mississippi State Hospital.
So the agencies.
They have whatever their requirements are. They didn't meet all those requirements.
But it's an agency decision,
Yes, it's an agency.
not when it comes here for a DFA.
Yes, it's an agency decision.
Appreciate that.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item.
Item number 7, Mississippi Department of Mental Health is seeking to contract with Med America Consulting doing business as Impact Consultant in the amount of $340,780 with a term of 2 years with no optional renewal. The contractor was declared to be a sole source provider by the agency because only the one vendor in the marketplace can provide Impact Model Consulting Service DMH requires, and will provide consulting services in the development of 3 emergency psychiatric assessment, treatment, and healing units in Mississippi hospitals. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What do you do?
Move based on staff recommendation.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Hello. Item number 8 is a new contract between Mississippi Oil and Gas Board and Select Field Services. The contractor will plug, remediate, and reclaim orphan wells located in Jefferson, Jefferson Davis, Marion, Pearl River, and Walnut County. The term of the agreement is 5 months with no option to renew. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 4 bidders. The contract was selected to the lowest bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
Heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Approval based on staff recommendation.
Have a motion and a second.
Question.
Sure.
Anybody on the oil and gas board online?
I believe Mr. Hayes or Ms. Missy is on the line.
Hey, good morning. This is Justin. I'm on here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Russell. How many wells you gonna plug for $100,000?
This is actually a remediation contract. So there are 7 sites that are involved in this contract. It's purely surface remediation, removing tanks, lines, things of that nature. There's no downhole work in this package or on this contract.
So there'll be no plugging. This is strictly remediation, cleaning up tank batteries, stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
And to answer your question, no, we probably can't plug one well right now for $100,000.
If they're gonna plug a bunch of wells for $100,000, I need to get their name. Pretty good
Yes,
price.
sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jess. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Additional comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none. All in favor of approval of this item?
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay. Hearing none, motion is carried.
Item number 9 is a new contract with Health and Mississippi Rural Water Incorporated. The contract will provide practical applied asset management training for public water system operators in the state using the available guidance provided by the agency. The term of the contract is 5 years with no option to renew. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 5 bidders. 1 bidder was deemed non-responsive, and contract was awarded to the lowest bidder. The agency requests an exception to PPRB OPSCR rules and regulations, section 5.1, content of the solicitation, and section 5.2.3, advertising time. OPSCR has reviewed the request and has no concern that granting the exception would affect competition, fairness, or transparency of the procurement. OPSCR recommends approval of this request contingent upon exception request being granted and receipt of the certificate of insurance.
You've heard the summary of the request and staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendations.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor of this item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next
Item number 10 is a new contract between Mississippi State Department of Health and Consumer Wellness Solutions Incorporated. The contractor will administer tobacco cessation treatment services for the Mississippi Tobacco Quit Line for all eligible adult residents statewide. The term of the contract is 3 years with 2 optional 1-year renewals. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 2 bidders. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 2 bidders. And the contract was awarded to the lowest bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
I move for approval based on staff recommendation with the question.
Sure.
Second comment.
The question, I'm assuming these come from the, cessation funds that we, whatever,
The
the
tobacco
tobacco
trust
monies
fund.
trust fund, yes, probably.
This is the deal where they get a phone booth and put them in there and let them smoke up a smoke booth.
You know, back in the day, we was smoking that 16 hours. Dr. Young?
Good morning again. The tobacco program at Mississippi State Department of Health is funded with the state funds that you mentioned earlier, as well as some federal grant funds. The Quitline program has been around for a number of years, where individuals seeking to quit using tobacco in different forms can call and receive support services as well as cessation aids. So it depends upon, we have several things on the agenda, I think, related to tobacco this month and in coming months, and it is a combination of state or federal funding dependent upon which particular service it is.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of this item?
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Item number 11 is a new contract between Mississippi State Department of Health and Amber Kyle. The contractor will provide professional consulting services for a Mississippi trauma system of care. The goal of the project is to enhance the development of the Mississippi trauma system of care. The term of the contract is 5 years with no option to renew. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 3 bidders. The contractor was selected through an invitation. I'm sorry. The contractor was selected with 3 bidders. The contract was awarded to the lowest bidder. OBSCR recommends approval of this request.
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next item.
Item number 12 is a new contract between Mississippi State Department of Health and Mississippi Academy of Family Physicians Foundation. The contractor will administer the Tobacco-Free Mississippi, engaging Mississippi's Family Physicians Project, and implement the U.S. Public Health Service guidelines for treating tobacco use and dependence recommendations into family. Physician practices for the state of Mississippi to increase tobacco screenings and medical provider referrals for cessation services. The term of the contract is 3 years with 2 optional 1-year renewals. The contractor was selected through an IFB, and the contract was awarded to the lowest bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
And a motion
Second.
and a second. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor of approval of this particular item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Item number 13 is a new contract between Mississippi State Department of Health and Dr. Kenneth Hines. The contractor will provide medical care to individuals with tuberculosis. The consultant physician will assist the health department in interrupting the chain of tuberculosis disease and infection. The goal of the project is to provide an on-site and off-site evaluations and consultation for treatment of tuberculosis, as well as a follow-up care based on regional location. The term of the contract is 4 years with no option to renew. The contract was selected through an IFB, and the contract was awarded to the lowest bidder. 2 bidders were deemed non-responsive, and the contract was awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any comments, questions, concerns?
A question for somebody in the Department of Health. How pervasive is TB in the state?
Good morning again. Thank you for that question. We are fortunate that it is not a major public health concern at this time in our state. We have it well controlled, but on average, we have about 60 individuals who are actively positive throughout the state at any time. But we do conduct tuberculosis testing on a number of patients that are referred from providers all over the state. And of course, testing for things like healthcare professionals that have to be routinely tested as part of their employment.
Ma'am, did you say 6 or 660?
60.
Thank you much. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor of approval of this item, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Next item.
Item number 14 is a new contract between Mississippi State Department of Health and Premier Healthcare Solutions Incorporated. The contractor will provide professional services in the development and implementation of a multi-year comprehensive published state health plan. The plan will serve as a foundational public health and healthcare resource for the agency and its external partners, rooted in a network frame designed to promote statewide alignment with the department's mission, which is to protect and advance the health, well-being, and safety for everyone in the great state of Mississippi. The goal of this project is to provide an on-site and off-site evaluations and consultation for treatment of diseases, as well as The term of the contract is approximately 1 year and 3 months, with one optional 1 year renewal. The contractor was selected for request proposals for non-respondent. One respondent was deemed non-responsible and one respondent was deemed non-responsive. OPSR recommends approval of this request.
You heard the summary of the request, as well as the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
I move for approval based on staff recommendation.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of this item, say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
Much appreciated.
Good morning, Chelsea Stewart at PSCR. Number 15 is a new contract from the Mississippi Department of Finance Administration with Star Service Incorporated of Jackson for a total amount of $746,880. The term of the contract is for 5 years with no option to renew. The contract will provide boiler maintenance services to 16 boilers located at the Wolfelt Building and William Winter Building. The contractor was selected through an invitation for bids with 4 bidders. The contract was awarded to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. OPSCR recommends approval of this request.
You've heard the summary of the request and the staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Move approval of this item.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
Thank you.
Any other business? Other business that's written there is our next meeting, August the 5th, 9 o'clock in this building. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Hearing none. Carried, and happy 4th of July.
Thank you.